shot. I watched the first episode of Wisteria Wand and Sword, so you don't have to. Right off the bat, it was looking like a straight up clone of Mashle Muscles and Magic. Even the titles have the same vibe going on. I saw a dungeon and I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. And I saw the glasses and the wannabe Harry Potter as main character, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. And like I said, I was expecting something a lot like Mashle, but I could tell from the first 4 minutes that this was not gonna be nearly as funny, if it was even funny at all. So boom, the show follows Will, a student at Regarded Magical Academy, which is definitely not Hogwarts. And definitely not Professor Snape calls Will to demonstrate a basic spell to the front of the class, which seems extra diabolical when you realize that not only does this teacher already know Will, but he already knows he can't use magic. So of course when bro can't do it, everyone laughs at him, and not Professor Snape gives a big lecture on how, oh, magic is the ruling force of the world and those without talent for it should just go ahead and withdraw from the academy. What the hell is this lesson even on? Like, this is a passive-ass, aggressive-ass lesson, and honestly, it feels like bullying, racism, discrimination, something. Like, is this a hate crime? Especially because they, literally say that this is the 5th year in the magic school. So, this is a basic, lesson. I don't know if it feels like an excuse to ridicule Will specifically and, make fun of people who don't have magic. And I don't know if this is, common in the world, but I don't know. It doesn't feel, appropriate. Moving on, after that, we find Will getting bullied in the hallway, which quickly gets broken up by his pick-me classmate, Colette. The leader of the friend group is like, yeah, whatever, you'll never be the Magiavander. You should just drop out like the professor said. And yeah, we find out that the Magiavanders are basically like the big dogs and the strongest mages in this world. Turns out his childhood friend was the youngest ever to get the title, and the reason why Will is dead set on becoming one. So after that, Will thanks Colette for taking up for him against Scion, the magic supremacist, and his goons. Now, Will might not have any magic, but he's definitely mastered the art of Rizcraft and Wizardry. Now, this is the point where I realized something. This plot does not matter. These characters do not matter. It was simply an excuse to draw the most needlessly beautiful animation for literally no reason at all. This is some pretty ass animation, every random frame in every scene looks better than some anime's entire existence. 7 deadly sins. They literally drew the scuff marks in the wooden floors and the wallpapers on the walls. It's insane. Anyways, we cut back to a teacher going in on Will for going into the dungeon without permission. Surprise, surprise, the boy without magic is failing magic school. Apparently, Will has been going down as far as the 7th floor in an attempt to slay monsters and make up for the credits needed to pass his classes. Now, I don't know about you, but I've definitely been there, and I feel his pain in this moment. So, it turns out that even with the extra effort, he still needs 4 credits by the end of the week, which gives Will only 2 days to scrape them up or he's expelled. Fortunately, Werkner tells him about a Baskerville, or whatever the hell that is, spotted on the 6th floor, which should be worth about 5 points. Not so fortunately, Will's ops are right outside the door listening to this conversation. So they're like, bet, we'll just go kill the monster before Will can, which will guarantee his expulsion at the end of the week. Should be pretty simple. Listen, I will never understand this level of haterism, this amount of haterade that you have to be drinking. Just focus on yourself. It is not that deep. In fact, I dare say it is never that deep. Anyways, now they're in the dungeon plotting on how to take down the Baskerville, still, whatever the hell that is, when all of a sudden one of the homies is smacked straight out of existence. Apparently, the dungeon is actually really shady, and a stronger 10-star monster was lurking in the shadows, whatever that means. So, Will sees bro on his ass, shaking, crying, and whimpering, and ponders if he has to help. I want to take this moment to talk to you personally, Will. No, you do not have to help. Focus on yourself. Get your bag. Get your credits. But it is what it is. He's a main character. He's gonna help him. Either way, like I said, the rest of the plot literally does not matter because the next bit of this is just the most beautiful animation to have graced my eyes since I saw that one scene in Demon Slayer where everything blows up and it's and yeah, spoilers. So Will dashes in and parries the monster's attack. At the same time, though, the other teacher, not Professor Snape, is like, oh, yo, the haters went down to the 6th floor of the dungeon. And the other teacher's like, oh, nah, they straight. Will is on that floor. And then proceeds to glaze the hell out of bro. He's like, first off, Will is nice with the hands. He can recognize an enemy's attack patterns. He sees you coming before you sees you coming. He's stronger than 10 men combined. He's more robust than a dwarf. Whatever that means. And he's like, don't listen to me, look for yourself. Cut back to Will giving this unfortunate monsters the work. He's like, block, block, weave, spin move, finger gone, sidestep, mid-air block. Oh shit, some debris. I'ma just slice that. Now you see me, now you don't. Even the teachers are remote viewing this fight like, damn, this animation is beautiful. Back to the action. So Will's like, I've seen this. Then mid-air dodges into a spinning disarm attack, pun intended, lands and then beheads the monster with its own weapon. And then, to add insult to injury, he walks away from the blast like a Power Ranger action hero. So Will then walks over to Scion and extends his hand. He's like, here, are you okay? And Scion is too overcome by hate and rage, and in true hater fashion, smacks it out the air. And then, get this, despite watching that whole thing through a magical ball, he literally still doesn't want to accept that Will is literally like the GOAT. So he flips his 30-inch bust down and goes to hate in private. So cut to the next day where Will brings back the spoils to Werkner. He gets the points that he needs to stay in school, and everything works out for now. And that is the end of the episode. Honestly, it was solid. I have no complaints. The animation quality, like I said, was top tier, and I actually really like the main character. Unfortunately, we do have a wannabe Professor Snape and also a wannabe Malfoy, all the way down to the magic supremacy, which is, I guess I'm going to just say it's a trope at this point, but honestly, I want to see how these characters like develop as time goes on. I'm okay with them being basic haters, but honestly, for you to still hate on bro, like after he does all of that, that's wild. But yeah, I do plan to continue the show. I really just want to see more animation. Like if this was what the first episode has to offer, then I really want to see a boss fight. Like I'm just sure it is going to be spectacular. So yeah, that was my recap of Wisteria Wand and Sword. Hopefully you liked the video. Please let me know if you did with the like button, or I don't know, subscribe maybe, like you could. I don't know, you don't have to, but this is my first video on this channel, so I'm really excited to hopefully do some other animes, maybe some cringy ones, maybe my top 5 or favorite of all time. Yeah, just let us know if you like it, and if not, then